And I would like to tell you all about her. But first, I just want to do a quick introduction about heartfulness if anyone is joining that has not been practicing heartfulness. It is a simple and subtle practice of meditation that connects each of us with the light and love in our hearts. Through our network of thousands of volunteer trainers, and we also have a smartphone app, we offer a daily practice that awakens our potential for simple, joyful, and peaceful existence. So, what is peace? From a global governance perspective, peace is the absence of war. On an individual level, peace is more complex. Are we truly at peace when everything around us seems harmonious, but internally we battle our thoughts and emotions and possible physical challenges? This is where Ayurveda comes in. Ayurveda is a holistic medical system that aims to restore balance and health through a natural approach of the body, mind, and spirit. So welcome to our first ever webinar. We are going to be in conversation with Sharon Kapp. I'm going to introduce her now. It's going to be a long introduction because she is highly accredited and a very dedicated practitioner of everything I'm going to share right now. Sharon Kapp is an Ayurvedic doctor certified with National Ayurvedic Medical Association. She's a certified yoga therapist. She's a Panchakarma specialist, a licensed massage therapist, a registered yoga teacher, a ERYT 500 to be specific, a Reiki master, a Thai yoga master, a Vastu Shastra and Vedic astrology consultant. She is also the owner of Houston Yoga and Ayurveda Ashram, which is a 100% woman-owned business. The only center in Houston where both Hatha Yoga and a complete range of Ayurveda and Vedic treatments go hand in hand. She was raised in Pune. She began her yoga practice when she was in elementary school under BKS and Geeta Iyengar, and she developed the passion to appreciate the ancient Vedic sciences of yoga and Ayurveda, Vastu Shastra, and astrology. So I welcome you all to meet Sharon Kapp. Welcome. Sharon, would you like to introduce yourself before we get started talking about Ayurveda?
You've already done a really great introduction. So thank you.
All right. So our first question is, what would you like to tell us about Ayurveda just to get us started, just to get us all curious about what Ayurveda is?
So Ayurveda is one of the oldest known written treatises on medicine. A lot of Westerners like to say it's 5,000 years old, but it's way older than that. And it is a science that's available to everybody. It's a science that's very adaptable. It's a science of self-healing. So we use nature's change of seasons, the natural things like the sunlight, like the food we eat, like the quality of air we breathe. All of these things affect the human being. So it's accessible to everybody. So those that are open to learning about Ayurveda can access all of these things which are free and just modulated to make themselves better. So it really is everybody's medicine. It is available at all times as long as you're breathing. Ayurveda is available to you.
So this webinar series is about inner peace. What are some of the self-care practices that you see in Ayurveda that can help everyone with their inner peace?
So inner peace is the one gift that we have to earn on this planet. God gives us everything, but inner peace we have to learn. We have to qualify for that. We have to learn how to create a space for it within the body. And in Ayurveda, we have the routines of self-care. Because if you want peace, that peace has to be within you, so you can recognize it outside of you. So the things that we like to do in the Dinacharya, Dina meaning the day, Acharya meaning the routines that we learn about, we become knowledgeable about. We have a couple of them that everybody can do. One of the most important things that I like to train folks to do is to be aware of the sunrise and the sunset. Ultimately, everything in life is working because of the sun. And there is something called the circadian rhythm. And the circadian rhythm is very, very important to regulating the pineal gland and how it creates for you melatonin so that you can create all the other hormones. So sleeping at the right time, around about 10 o'clock for us over here. In India, it's on the equator, so it's usually about 9:30 or something like that, winding down for the day so that we can wake up early in the morning to greet the sun. So once we wake up early in the morning, we have routines that we can do, like oiling the body. This is really great for protecting the skin and also for going deeper into the nervous system and calming the nervous system so you can feel joy. If your nervous system is dry, if your nervous system is irritated at all times, if you haven't rested well, then you have no capacity for joy or to find a meditative space within your body to cultivate joy. Eating at the right time, sleeping at the right time, according to the availability of the body switch from fight and flight to rest and digest. And this is the domain of the 10th cranial nerve. Which is a little bit more information for people for another day. But for today, I would just say try to eat within 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. or while there's light outside. So that's a really nice way to do that as well. Sleeping at night is important to sleep in good clothes, clean clothes, in a restful manner. If you're unhappy, if there are a lot of electronics, those are things that you want to change and meditate before sleeping, switch off your electronics early, and this can help you as well. So nutrition, taking care of the physical body, taking care of the mind, and having a dedicated routine to self-care, that would help you.
All right. So I remembered everything that, even the 8 limbs of yoga. So I was curious as you were talking, how is Ayurveda related to yoga and meditation?
So this is such an important question because Ayurveda is about the physical body, the body that is going to experience meditation, the body that's going to experience yoga. So if you do want to have a meditative practice and you have an ache or a pain in the knee, or you have itching skin, or you have running nose, or you can't breathe properly, there is no meditation that's going to happen. There will be a disturbance in the consciousness, right? Likewise, if you're going to do yoga, yoga is about this union of the breath with the mind and awareness of the body within the body. So therefore, if your body is not going to be available to you to experience the movements of yoga, then there is no yoga either. Also, to find divinity, you have to have a body that's not disturbing you. This is the fundamental principle of meditation, is to really be able to put the body aside so that you can connect with the divine. And that's the same principle in yoga asana. You have to be able to have the body in a space of sthira, steadiness, and comfort. And asana literally is the seat of the pose. If you cannot have sthira, sukhamasana, strength, and ease in the pose, there is no yoga asana happening. So all of yoga asana is a meditation and motion, but the motion is happening from the physical aspect of the human body. So we must take care of that before we can connect with the spiritual realm, before we can even go into that space of connecting or recognizing the divine. We need to take care of the body. So that's your temple. It's the ultimate space within which the divine can reveal itself to you.
That was a very good answer. I am going to ask you my next one, which is really obvious. What is the role of food in Ayurveda?
So food is very important. You have to understand that in order to make food, we have to understand the logistics of what is involved in making food. If you wanted to make an apple pie and you said, "Oh, Sharon, I can make a great apple pie from scratch," I would most likely say, "Oh, you're just lying or you're just joking." Because to make something from scratch, that means you must know how to make that apple, right? And every other ingredient that's going to be involved in it. Therefore, to make this apple, how does this apple form? The tree is not going to the store and saying, "Oh, give me this vitamin, give me this mineral, give me this color." and putting it together somehow mysteriously and giving you the apple. There is a lot that's going on in the background. That tree has to open the stoma of each leaf and bring in the precursor, the nanoparticles that's available from every planet that's orbiting us from the sunshine, convert it, bring it into the plant, grow it through its roots into the flowers, into the leaves, into the photosynthesis, and convert it into an apple. Okay, so there's a lot going into it. Now, when the human body eats that apple, it is doing the opposite, it's reversing that whole thing. So it's going to go into your mouth, your teeth are going to chew it. Each teeth is connected to a different organ or a dhatu tissue in your body. Your saliva is going to bind it and say, oh, this goes to the heart, this goes to the liver, this goes to the muscles, this goes to the plasma, so on and so forth. And then it's marked it. Now it goes into your stomach where your liver is going to make certain kind of acids to break it down and to cook it back into its nanoparticle material. And then you're going to eliminate the solid stuff within that apple that contained this elemental universe within it. Now that elemental universe is going to go through the rasa, through the plasma, into your body for its first circulation. And then it's going to go and circulate in your body and make for you all the things it needs to do that's connected with the plasma. It filters, gets more pure, and it goes down into your blood, and it'll spend time there making for you the tissues, the ligaments, the sinews that you need, filter further and go down so forth to the liver and the muscles, the fat tissues, the lungs, and go into the bone material, go into your teeth, make into hair, make into cartilage. So there's a 40-day process that's going through this whole thing of removing these elemental materials that is accumulated in the food that is now going to become your body parts. So food is very, very important because we are making the universe into the physical body. So digestion is not just digestion of your material that you're putting in your mouth, but it is a digestion of your consciousness that is matching the consciousness of the cosmos that is coming to you through your food. Therefore, food is a form of the divine. This is why we offer it to the divine in the temples. But we also offer it to our ancestors that don't have a physical body, but they are now in the elemental form. And also before eating, we dedicate a little bit as a gratitude to those ancestors that gave us a physical deha, the body that we have to reside in. So it is an act of worship. This is why in some cultures they say, I'm the body and blood of whoever they believe in. And we are very grateful that we have this body. And when we're celebrating it, we give it as a prasadam to somebody or prasadam to our ancestors. So food is really very, very, very essential to create a space within your body where you can connect the whole universe and feel gratitude and feel joy and feel peace and feel like you are one with the divine through this union of food that is going to become your body. So it's a prasadam to your body.
That was beautiful, Sharon. That was really beautiful. I think I'm going to listen back to this webinar to hear that again. From there, I want to go to talking a little more about Ayurveda, the way to do that in a format of busting some myths about Ayurveda. And before we do that, I just want to repeat the agenda. The agenda is, we've just done a quick intro for both Ayurveda for yourself and just a very short one for Heartfulness. But we will do at 7:30 a short piece, intention prayer. It'll be just 5 minutes, and then we'll do a Q&A. So to prepare for that Q&A, I'd like you all to post in, I think there is a Q&A window at the bottom of your screens that you can post a question. And the moderators that are here, that they will take a few questions that we can ask Sharon. So let's go on right now. And we wrap up at 7:45 Central. That's about 30 minutes from now. So let's bust some myths, right, about Ayurveda. So the first one, Ayurvedic treatments are slow and ineffective. What do you say to that, Sharon?
So it depends totally on the person, not on the Ayurveda. It depends on the person's ability to implement what they are doing. And there are some conditions, like a cancer, for example, that has gone through the body. It needs time for it to move out. So there are some things that it's true that it's going to take time, it's going to take dedication, it's going to take time for your body to heal, to repair and regenerate. But that's not also the only conclusion in Ayurveda. There are many things that can have an instant effect on the body. In fact, in Ayurveda, we have treatments called marma therapy. Marma comes from the word Mars, where we have certain junctions in the body where energy plexuses lie, and we can release that obstructed energy, because at the end of the day, everything is energy. If you're eating a plant, it's an energy in the form of matter that you're eating. If you have an obstruction in your body and your body's not working, it is energy that is obstructed in that part of the body as well. So there are certain herbs, there are certain treatments, there are certain breathing exercises. For a small example, when we look at Ayurveda, we look at even pranayama, because it is the study of the prana within the food, within the body, within the mind, within the elements, the 5 elements, the Panchamahabhutas. And so if somebody is having a stress response, and that has triggered the 10th cranial nerve of fight and flight. This is the vagus motor nerve. Then in Ayurveda, we have certain marma points where we can hold certain points in the body, or we can do a pranayama, Nadi Shuddhi, for example, Brahmari pranayama, or we can go into a pattern of breathing where we can switch from the 10th cranial nerve of fight and flight to the rest and digest aspect of it. And instantaneously, blood pressure changes. Instantaneously, your fight and flight has stopped, so then you can breathe properly. So the diaphragm drops. Your acids in your body that are secreted as a result of this fight and flight drops as well. Your sugar glucose levels can balance itself. And also your brain is able to function now because it's not in a state of confusion. So yes, it can work instantaneously, depending on the condition, depending on the environment, and depending on the person that is being treated. So it is a myth that it takes long.
All right. So it's not always slow and ineffective, from what you've just said.
Very effective, it's very powerful. And it's very useful to know to have Ayurvedic herbs in your kitchen that you can use in your first aid.
What Ayurvedic herbs do you recommend having in the kitchen?
I think everybody should have a couple of herbs. They should have turmeric always. Turmeric is a very good adaptogen. That means if you get a cut on your finger while you're cooking, for example, you could take a paste of just turmeric or turmeric and honey. Both are antiseptic, antibacterial. And you could put it on a band-aid and put it on that. Depending on the level of bleeding, you could put pressure and hold it up. And 2 things will happen. One is it will stop the bleeding right away. 2, it will also kill any pathogens that are in there. And 3, you won't get any scar on it. It heals really beautifully. So that's one of them. Excuse me. Another one is ginger. Fresh ginger is really great. Now that the seasons are changing, we can use it to help with cough, mucus buildup in the body. We can help it to lose weight. We can help it for a digestive. We can also use it as a calmator to calm the body down, and we can also use it to heal a digestive system or to eliminate things. So ginger is another good one to have. Fennel is great if you have indigestion. You should always keep that. You can feed it to children, you can feed it to the elderly and to the middle-aged people for digestion. So that's another great one. Black pepper, really great for thinning the blood. Cayenne pepper. There are endless number of things. Your whole kitchen cabinet that has all these spices is actually a pharmacy.
Yeah. All right. That's
And ghee is the best one because
mhm.
ghee has your omega-3 and 12 fatty acids, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin A, and vitamin K2. Everybody needs to eat ghee. This will prevent you from aging. It will help you to be healthy, you have beautiful skin, but most importantly, it will increase the longevity of your body. So this idea how they take good things and just spoil the whole effect of it with ignorance and destroy its effect and its ability to heal the body. We need to educate people so that they can get over this ignorance.
Okay.
In fact, in Ayurveda, they say the first cause of disease is prajna aparada, ignorance, intelligence. So it's very easy to confuse people, and then we forget about our culture.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that answer. There's so many that you can keep in your kitchen as a first aid. And
Yes, yes. It's endless.
so the second myth we have here is that Ayurvedic medicines are costlier. Is that true? What is your experience with this?
It just depends on who you are going to and the distance that that medicine has to travel to get to you. So its value is based usually on how much it's available to you.
Mm,
If you wanted a herb from, if you wanted to bring a particular kind of ice from Alaska, you have to pay transportation, you have to pay the taxes, you have to keep it in the form of ice that you want. So yes, some herbs can be expensive depending on what they want. But generally, if you find a good Ayurvedic doctor, then your good Ayurvedic doctor is going to use what is available to you because Ayurveda has one principle that everything can be medicine and everything can be poison. It
mm,
depends on who knows how to use it, right? So if you find somebody who is looking for a brand name, oh, I need it from this Baba, I need this from this guru, then of course it's going to cost you some money because you're paying for a brand name.
yeah.
Okay.
Mm,
But if you meet somebody who is well versed in understanding the ability of everything to be medicine, it doesn't have to cost money because you can go to your kitchen. I mean, how expensive is turmeric, for example?
yeah, that's
It's
true.
not. How
Yeah.
easy is it to make
Mm,
ghee?
mhm.
It's not, right? So
Yeah,
you
it
can
is.
use anything as a medicine, and you can also use anything as a poison. You just have to know that information. So it's a myth that is expensive. If you want to go to a five-star hotel, the room is still the same size, but you're going to pay a lot of money versus going to a motel somewhere and have a room the same size. It just depends on the location and what it is as an experience that you are buying with your money.
Yeah. So I have a follow-up, two more myths related to this, and you already covered them. So Ayurvedic medicines can be taken as an over-the-counter product,
Yeah.
and it does not need a doctor. That is another myth that's out there.
Correct.
I think you
It's a
covered
myth,
them. Mm,
yes, yes. Because if you know what you can use as medicine, then you don't need a doctor. If you have a serious, serious condition where your leg is falling off, yes, you need a doctor. So it's totally relevant to the condition, the time, and the experience that is being treated, right?
mm, yeah. So what about all Ayurvedic treatments being all natural, so they are safe? Is that a myth?
Again, like I mentioned,
Mm,
safety is a matter of knowledge.
mm,
Right? It could be a food, it could be a medicine, it could be a poison, it could be whatever you want it to be. Ayurveda is very versatile.
yeah.
So you want to make sure that your medicine that you're using is being used for the right condition, and the practitioner knows what they're using it for and how they are making it, so that it can be utilized for what it is made for and for the condition that's being treated.
I do want to ask you, this is, based on the myth here. I don't want to go about the myth, but the myth is that it's only for aged people. I just want you to cover what kind of patients you see and what are the typical conditions you see patients for at the Ayurveda ashram.
Ayurveda is for everybody. I see babies before they're born, when they're born. I see people in the 80s. I see people in the 90s. I even have a 102-year-old client. I see all kind of people. I even see animals. Sometimes we have some beautiful Desi Indian cows here. We treat them also with Ayurveda. So we can I treat my trees with Ayurveda as well. If they have a broken branch or they have an issue of pest, I will treat that also with Ayurveda. So there's nothing and no one who cannot benefit from it. The only difference is you have to know the five elements and which element is disturbed, and then you can use that for it.
Mhm. Do you want to tell us about the elements right now?
Yes, the five Mahabhutas.
Yeah.
We have five elements, and a nice, easy way to remember is that they're all on your fingertips.
Mhm.
This here, the thumb is your God element, or the ether, or the akasha that we call. And this one is affiliated with your pineal gland. Your pineal gland is crystalline in nature, and everybody is born, they have a certain color to that pineal body or the pineal body, and it's called varna in Sanskrit. And when the invaders started to translate our text, because they were very eager to know how we were so intelligent, they translated it as the varna is giving you a caste. Okay. And they based it as varna, giving you a caste means the caste system is divided by the color of your skin. Now, there is a small, tiny little bit of truth to this, because if you had a white, crystalline, lighter colored, you would be more delicate in nature, you would be more spiritual in nature, you want to study the scriptures. If it was yellow, for example, or red, you'd want to be a kshatriya, a warrior, you'd have a strong Mars, you would want to do martial arts, or you'd want to do something that's got to do with energy. If it was more yellowish, orangish color, or goldenish color, you'd want to be a judge, a lawyer, a guru of some sort. If it was really dark, then you were not affected negatively by nature, by the sunlight, lack of sunlight, sleeping late. You were basically untouchable. Nothing could drop you down.
Oh.
And so they decided, oh, because these people can work at night, because they can do heavy labor, because they can eat old food, stale food, and not get sick, it must be that when the Brahman touches them and picks up the germs, but it doesn't affect these people, therefore they are untouchable. But really, it meant that they were like unstoppable. And so they translated and destroyed this culture of these colors and this caste system. So we are born with a dharmic duty. And based on the color of this lens that we have earned, we can do more service. This is why the color of Saturn, for example, is black. Okay. And that gives you great resilience. You have to learn great things like this. So every planet, every day of the week, every one of these Pancha Mahabhutas have a color. So this is the pineal gland or the pineal gland, and it is connected from the nerves of your thumb all the way over there. Okay. And that is the tattva, or that is the element of ether or akasha. Because what is ether? Ether is considered the God particle. For example, God is always represented as a he. And I always ask, what is this question? Why is God a he? Where can you see the genitalia that you can tell me it's a he? Okay, why is God a he? But it is a principle that we can humanize as the potential to make something. Therefore, we call God a he. Because if a man were to give, for example, his sperm to a woman, she could make a whole tribe come out of her body. But the converse is not true. If she gives the egg to the man, he can put it with his sperm anywhere in his body, nothing. So he only has the potential to make something come into life. Actual life is coming through the woman. Okay, so they decided male God is the potential. That means everything, whether the desk, the computer, you, me, the tree, man, woman, child, dog, cat, cow, all have to have the pure potential, but they have to come into matter. Therefore, anything that's made into matter where light can go through it is Shakti. So Shiva Shakti principle happens. So that's the ether. Okay, it is the potential. That's why Shiva is called the great creator, the great destroyer. In other words, to create life, you need the potential. When you die, you transform back into the potential, right? So that's the ether. And the air is then the pituitary gland, that is the master gland in the body, that sits right in the middle of the brain and is protected in a bony helmet called the Chalaturchika. So this guy over here, in tandem with the ether, the air, the ether, they're called vata. They are making all of these invisible elements come together to become something. So when we bring air and ether together, it makes everything a-okay and triggers jnana mudra, as we call it, chin mudra, whatever you want to call it. But this is vata. These two are vata. Vata resides in the colon, in the movement, the nervous tissue, the spirituality, the meditation you're doing, all needs to have these two elements come together. Then that brings us to the third one, which is the middle finger. And this is the fire element. And the fire deals with the digestive system, the liver, but also the digestion of emotions and your food. And so the process of light, fire, we need that as the transformer between the vata and between the kapha, between the coming of the ether, the potential, into being over here. So it's the transformer. We can call it, Vishnu if we want. It's the solar plexus, basically the area of your liver, your gallbladder, all of these kind of things, right? So if you can't digest your food in Ayurveda, we know you can't digest your emotions either. So both of these will be affected by this fire element. And then the next finger is the water element. This is your endocrine system. And your endocrine system is like a hot lava that flows through your body and transforms everything. That's why Pitta is fire and water, because you can't just find a fire mysteriously burning in your body. It is all of these hot fluids that are made as acids that are being protected by the fluids that are being transported into your body to trigger for you to have an experience, whether it's emotional, whether it's physical, whether it's spiritual. You need it to flow. But fire flows like water, but it just burns everything in its way. So that's Pitta. The last little finger here is the earth element, and the earth element represents your physical matter of your body, whether it's your muscles, your bones, all of these kind of things. So water and earth together, they make kapha. Kapha is the physical experience that you're having over here. These are your Shakti fingers. This is Shakti, and this is your ether, this is your pure potential. Okay, so this is like your Shiva and this is like your Shakti. So you're trying to bring all of these 5 elements, and they're constantly shifting to give you growth, to give you potential, for you to enhance your dharmic duty as a human being on this planet. So, but we need the 5 elements. We need to recognize them in our thoughts, in our actions, and our deeds, in the environment around us. When you learn this and you can recognize a leaf has this shape, therefore it's more pitta. It has this shape, therefore it's more kapha. It has this shape, therefore it's more vata. You can decipher, oh, my mood is like this. I don't need to eat more of this. I need to eat more of this. Oh, it's very simple, right? So once you recognize the 5 elements in your body, in your mind, in your emotions, you recognize it in all of nature. You can love a dog, you can love a tree, you can love a flower, and it will give you one of these 5 emotions, these 5 Pancha Mahabhutas as an emotion. So nothing is without these 5 things, and we have it at the tips of our finger. So in Ayurveda, we try to eat with the fingers whenever possible, because it is sensing what is in the cosmos, what is in my body, how is it cooked, how will I transport it, what do I need to make before I even start my digestive process. These are your filters to the whole cosmos. So those are the 5 elements, and they're in everything. If you can understand that, you're the expert now. You have been able to
That's right.
the cosmos. What do you need a doctor, right? Your food is your medicine. You
At
just go
least
to
I
the
can live a
doctor
better life if I know these
until you know this. Our grandmothers knew this. They
Yeah.
didn't have a PhD in anything, but we taught it as a routine, as a ritual. Therefore,
Right, right.
and ritual is very important, even if you don't understand it until the
Correct.
time comes when your mind is open. You're like, wow, I actually
Yeah,
know this stuff. I don't need to go to X, Y, and Z now.
correct. Yeah. So I want to get it back to the inner peace. We want to do a quick intention setting for 5 minutes. There are a lot of questions. I see them coming through. What we'll do is we'll just take 5 minutes to just close our eyes, set a peace intention, come back and answer those questions. So let's get settled in. Just close your eyes, take a deep breath. Just start to feel your whole body relax as you breathe. Just bring your attention. We'll do a heartfulness relaxation. We'll bring our attention to our toes. Feel the energy from the earth. Everything we've heard so far settling in. Just let that energy from the earth coming in through the feet. You can close your eyes whenever you're ready or keep them open as you choose. Let that energy move upward through your body. Relax your legs. It's a healing and soothing and calming energy. Let it go up your calves, your thighs, your hips, then through your lower back, your middle back, your upper back. Let's take that energy, just observe it, and let it move upward through the front of your body, through the stomach, chest, shoulders. Take a few more deep breaths. Start to relax your body. Let that energy move through your arms, from the shoulders to the upper arms, forearms, wrists, fingertips. Let that energy move up through the neck, jaws, your face, forehead, top of the head, back of the head. As you relax your body and feel that energy move upward from your toes to the top of your head, let your mind relax. Tune in to that peace within your heart. As you feel that peace, see if you can expand that peace to everything and everyone around you. Let that peace that you feel within your heart, let it expand and encircle the world. I thank you for adding your vision and your heart in this peace intention prayer. You can gently open your eyes as we return to answering questions and chatting with Sharon.
That was very beautiful.
Sharon, that is an engaging conversation. We could have gone on for much longer, but I'm
Yes.
going to go to questions right now.
Okay.
We're going to see what, okay, there's about, I see already at the screen, 6 questions. I'll start with the first one. Any recommendations of type of food we can consume here in the US? Nothing seems to be organic, fruits, wheat, etc.
So where do you live in the US? That's the first question. Then you have to look at the climate of that place. Because, the spectrum of light that you have is going to affect the way you digest your skin. For example, digest through your skin. For example, the liver, when it's in a cell, it divides. One half becomes your skin, the other half becomes your liver. So your skin is always sending messages of the spectrum of light, and sending that to your liver so that you can digest your food according to the environment around you. So depending on whether your body is Vata, Pitta, or Kapha, or in a state of Vata, Pitta, or Kapha imbalance. Now, this is the big misnomer out there about Ayurveda, is that you can go online, fill out a form, and then find out whether you're Vata, Pitta, or Kapha. This
I've
is a
done it.
lie, because the form cannot see the shape of your eyes. It cannot see the shape of your lips. It doesn't know how long, short, thick, whatever your body parts are. So the food you're going to eat is for this body, right? So you have to be able to use the physical body and the environment to make the food that is for you. And then you're not making it for the healthy body, you're making it for the imbalance. Dosha means fault, right? In some religions, they say you're born in original sin. It's a direct translation from the Vedas that we have a dosha. Dosh means fault. What
Yeah.
is that imbalance that is going to cause you to ask some questions, to grow, to suffer, to experience life, and to find a dharmic path? Okay. So it's a dosh, it's a fault in your body. You're actually looking for that fault and you're saying, how can I rectify it? How can I make the most of what's available? So for a vata imbalance, for example, we have to find out what kind of vata imbalance. There are 5 subdoshas. We have to find out where in those 5 subdoshas are the imbalances. Is it in the prana? Is it in the vayana? Is it in the samana? Where is that imbalance? All of it's pitta. Where is it in the brajaka? Is it in your skin? Where is it in your digestive, ranjaka, in your blood? Where is it, right? And there are 5 doshas for kapha as well. So this is a beautiful question. But the bigger question is, where is my imbalance and what am I eating for it? Ultimately, you can make a delicious meal if you were to just go find like 7 different colors of beans, for example, and store it in bottles with bay leaf, it wouldn't be eaten by the weevils. But if it's being eaten by the weevils or by insects, this is good because it has the digestive ability. Therefore, my body can digest it. If you have something that doesn't spoil, don't buy it because your body can digest it. You're throwing money
Yeah.
away. You're
Okay.
buying a disease. So first of all, that will provide you the proteins you want. Always soak it and cook it. And then you can add the spices for vata, pitta, and kapha. There are some very simple spices that you can use. Panchapuran is one that balances all the taste. Salt is the 6th taste. Curry leaf, these are things that you can add. But add ghee to everything, whether you're vata, pitta, or kapha. It's going to transport the nutrition. However little or however lot it is, it's a transport. It will take it directly and send it to the parts of your body. So it's a little kind of a shortcut. But if you were to have it with an oil, oils go rancid. It's packed in plastic. It's sent over here. Do not buy any kind of ghee in plastic, please. Must be in glass, okay?
Okay.
Because otherwise it's going to transport all of those toxic chemicals into your body because it's the transporter. So yes, you could find the foods that were seasonal, that were growing in your environment, that got spoiled fast. Those are the ones you want. You want to cook it quickly, and you want to keep always some good rices, some good beans, some good lentils. If you're intolerant to that, then you can find the ragis. If you're not from the Indian community and you're from the Western community, look at what your ancestors ate. Look at what you grew up with. And then try to find a good Ayurvedic doctor that can tell you seasonally how to adapt it. Because you might eat something in the winter and it might not be good in the summer. You might eat something in the spring and it might not be good for winter. For example, if you eat light and crispy, crunchy things, for a certain body type, vata body type, that would aggravate it if the winter was too cold, versus if you were a kapha person and you really needed to get up and move, we would tell you, oh, eat something light, crispy, crunchy, and cold. Again, the seasons play a big part in how you're going to digest it. Why? Seasons are giving you foods that are trapping the spectrum of light in it. So it's all about the light. How are you going to digest it? How's that fire in your kitchen, in your stomach? That's going to give the glow in your skin, in your body, in your mind. So it depends on the simplicity of what your body needs. You should always have the basics of life that can last a long time to keep it there. If everything else falls apart, you have a few staples in your kitchen and you can have these. And the biggest thing I will tell you is that if it perishes fast, it's good food. If it's not
Good.
perishing fast, not good food.
Is there a recommendation of a type? I see one more question. Is there a particular type of ghee recommended, like certain cow milk, A2?
Yes, I agree completely. There is something like that. A2 is from the cow that has a hump. That is the original one. They've taken, they've spliced the genes and put it in the flat back cow. Now, why is that important? A-2 milk is because it makes in that hump a protein that is digestible to babies, to humans, to animals, even cats, cows, dogs, anybody can drink that stuff.
Okay.
Just like a camel has a hump, it can go through a desert without food, without anything. The Brahma cows or the Desi cows, the Gir cows that we have, they have a hump and they have this protein and they can vibrate through that. They vibrate a lot of things that come in from the cosmos. So they change a lot of things for you, but they also change how you can digest your food. They have a
Mhm.
special kind of protein. So the A2, cultured butter. So traditionally we took grass-fed milk from
Mhm.
the cows and we spoiled it, and so it got cultured, so it made the prebiotics and the probiotics. And you naturally store the pre and the probiotics of 7 generations of your family in the cecum, in the appendix. Okay, now if you've had your appendix removed, you've just lost this heritage. But if you ever came down with an illness that was had an antidote back in the 6 generations, it would recreate it for you so it could save your life and you would get over it. But we want to make sure that we have all of these proteins in there properly stored, properly used for the body so that can be utilized as needed.
So one last question, and it is a burning question, literally. Is there a remedy for chronic heartburns?
Oh, 100%. Chronic heartburn is due to many things. You can have chronic heartburn. Like I said, you have to treat the cause.
Mm.
There is no such. What has happened? They have hijacked Ayurveda and they said, oh, you have a headache? Take this herb instead of this pill. That is not how Ayurveda works.
Mm.
Ayurveda works on the principle of what you are experiencing in your life and how you are digesting that information and that experience. If you're eating food, you can get a food allergy just because you're angry about something. If you're eating food
Mm.
and you're happy, you won't get any allergy. So you have to understand that for digestion, for heartburn, we have to look at, oh, are you sleeping well? Are you afraid that your husband
Mm.
or your wife is going to take advantage of you? Or you
Mm.
have
Mm.
insecurities in the bed?
Mm.
That can give you heartburn. I don't want to go to bed. So now you're making acid because your 10th cranial nerve is making acid. Oh, I don't want to go to work. Or I don't want to go to school because this bully is there. Or my boss is like this. I have a deadline I can't meet, or have
Yeah.
something that's impossible, you could get heartburn for that as well. You could be eating incompatible foods. You could be eating, I'm so stressed out, I need to chew gum all the time. Your body's like, where's the food coming in? I'm making the acid to digest, but there's no food. You could
Food.
have heartburn. You could be eating light, dry, crispy, crunchy things, just chewing on it all the time because you are so nervous. And that could be incompatible. It could be fried with a lot of oils, bad oils. If it was
Oh,
fried
yeah.
with ghee, it wouldn't have a problem. You could have heartburn with that. You could have a speech that was coming up, and you could have so much heartburn and so much diarrhea because all this acid is coming up.
Oh, wow.
Remember, acid is created by your liver to digest what? Your food and your experiences. So therefore, if I wanted to treat your heartburn, I have to know what is happening in your life to give you the
Life.
right antidote.
It's not
I
just the
can't
food.
just say, oh, here, take this hing or take this whatever other pudin hara is there and have this stuff.
Yeah.
Because I might not even need to give you a herb for
Yeah,
your
that's right.
heartburn. I just would need to change your perspective on your experience and the heartburn would go
Correct.
away. Some people think I'm doing magic, but it's not. I'm just shifting
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
perspective because all disease is actually starting in your perspective.
Perspective. Okay.
Yeah. You
Okay.
may say, oh, I ate a bad thing. How is that my perspective? What happened to your intelligence that you chose that perspective to eat that
Yeah.
bad?
Yeah.
It is your mind,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
heartburn is starting in the mind. So your practitioner needs to find out what is happening in your mind. Therefore, I can go to Dr. Google and say, I have heartburn, please treat me. Oh, it's Ayurveda doesn't work because I still have
Yeah,
heartburn.
that's right. So it's,
Okay, so now Ayurveda is getting a bad rap because of your ignorance.
yeah. Yeah.
Because you are a cheapskate and you don't want to go to a doctor, you want to go to Dr. Google for free. Okay, that's how it
So
works
it is
then.
all encompassing. It's not just the food, it's also the
It's not.
mind,
It's the whole experience
it's
of
the
life.
whole experience. So
It's
that was the
empowering you to
last
make the right
question.
choices.
Yeah, Dr. Sharon Kapp, thank you so much for your time. I do want to share a slide where where people can talk to you, reach out to you, the way that they can connect with you. This has been, even though I've known, about Ayurveda, I've just, at this surface. And this is a lot of knowledge that you have that you're trying to share in such a short time. So it's really hard. And I know you would love to keep chatting, and I would love to keep hearing. And I'm hoping that I can come see you, one of the days that we have meditation there. Maybe share a bit of your time and learn a bit more from you. So thank you so much for your time.
Of
I'm going to share a few slides. Did you want to have anything you want to share before we wrap up today?
Yeah, you are welcome. We have a small ashram over here. We have our 2 cows. We're always looking for people to support us with Godan. We're always looking for people to want to learn about Ayurveda for the Vedic sciences. So please call, come and see us. Calling is the best method. If you send me an email, I don't have anytime. I'm a one-woman show. So call me if you have any questions. My number is over there, 281-256-8461. We're in Cypress, Texas. Just come and see us if you are in the area, and we'd be happy to chat with you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Sharon Kapp. Hold on while I share one more. I want to tell everyone that's on here about the personal trainer option that we have. Right now with Heartfulness, there is an option to start meditation whenever it suits your um, time. So right now there's something called Meditate with a Personal Trainer. The link is here. There's also in the email that is sent out at the end of the session today, you will get a link to register to this. So I'll hope, from everything you've learned today, you've learned about Ayurveda being an all encompassing practice. It is for the body, mind, and for the spirit. So as a matter of taking care of your spirit and your mind, I hope you'll consider meditation as part of it. And this is how you do that. You can reach out to a personal trainer for meditation. And I'd like to tell you about also the next webinar. It's coming up on Thursday at 7 p.m. So everyone that's dialed in, I hope you'll join that one as well. It's from Joshua Pollack, who's a heartfulness trainer and also author of the best-selling book, The Heartfulness Way. Along with Daji, he co-authored that book. He's an excellent speaker that has given a lot of talks, and I hope you'll enjoy that session as well on Thursday. So if you're in Houston, we'd love for you to join us in a group meditation on Sundays. We meet at 8:45 a.m. In India House in room 212. And if you have any questions or comments about today's session, please email us at houston.tx@heartfulness.org. And again, I want to thank you all. I know you're all dialed in from all over USA and Canada, and probably some of you who, maybe my mom from India. So thank you all for supporting us and being on this webinar. And I hope you have a great time learning more about heartfulness and Ayurveda, and this has been useful to you. So thank you.
I have one more thing to say. We also
Yes.
have heartfulness meditation at our place on Wednesday evenings at 5:30 and on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. So if you are in the Cyprus area, please come
Yeah.
and learn from one of the practitioners here too.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for reminding me,
So
Sharon.
much.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody. Have a great day. Have a great evening.